The Radio Memories Network is brought to you in part by Liberated Syndication, podcast publishing made easy, libsyn.com. That's libsyn.com.
Welcome to the Old Time Radio Network Adventures. What adventures awaits our heroes? Let's go back to the early days of radio and our imaginations to our featured presentation.
Journey to the Center of the Earth, Jules Verne's novel is the ultimate adventure story in the best Victorian tradition with plenty of action, science, knowledge, discovery and surprise. Let's now go on an adventure to the center of the Earth.
To the ends of the Earth. Journey to the Center of the Earth. Adapted from the Jules Verne novel by Moya O'Shea. Episode 2.
Descend, bold traveler.
Go, my dear Axel.
Uncle Liedenbrook!
Descend, bold traveler.
Go, my dear Axel. Go.
And you will attain the center of the earth.
Uncle Liedenbrook!
Go, my dear Axel. Go. Go, go.
Come and find me, please!
I, on Sarkis,
Am I to die down here, the most dreadful of deaths? Who will find my petrified remains years from now? Uncle Liedenbrook! Hans, where are you?
To describe my despair would be impossible, but one word described my position.
Lost! I am lost!
I will tell you this now. I was buried alive. The 30 leagues of rock above seemed to weigh upon my shoulders with a dreadful pressure.
Should I go up or down? Up, of course. Continually. I must find the stream. With the stream at my feet, I might hope to regain the summit of Snæfell.
How had I become separated from my Uncle Liedenbrook and Hans, our guide? I was ahead. Perhaps they thought I was behind. How had I left the course of the stream at the Hans back, which had gone with my companions away into unknown depths?
I must get out. I must find my way to the lamp. No! No. Don't go out. No. Don't leave me in this darkness, please. Stay. Don't die. Don't. Dear God, no.
The last glimmer. I drank it in as if I could preserve it. The last sensation of light my eyes were ever to experience.
I must get out of here. Oh, my darling Gräuben, what have I done? What if I never see you again? Gräuben, no! No! Help! Help! Uncle Liedenbrook! Hans! I'm here! I'm here!
Axel. Axel. Axel.
Gräuben?
Axel.
Gräuben?
Take a wrong turn.
That sound. A delusion?
That way, I think.
Who is that? Someone speaking.
Jeg bare forstår ikke. Hvordan kan han forsvundet?
Help! Help!
What was that? Thought I heard something. Var det han? Ja, jeg hørte det også.
It must be them. Help! But how can I hear them? A trick of the mind?
Jeg hørte nogen råbe om det.
The noise comes along the tunnel.
Axel! Is that you? Put your lips to the wall!
Yes! Yes!
My boy, where are you?
Lost in the deepest darkness.
What about your lamp?
It is out!
And the stream, the hands back.
Disappeared!
Axel, take courage. We looked for you up and down the tunnel. We fired our guns.
Oh, that is the sound I heard. We must know how far we are apart. You have your chronometer?
I have.
Well, take it and call my name, noting the exact second you speak. I will repeat it as soon as it comes to me, and you will observe the exact moment when you get my answer.
Yes, and half the time between my call and your answer will tell us how long my voice takes in coming to you.
Just so, Uncle.
Ready now? I am going to call your name. Axel!
Axel!
My uncle calculated I was at a distance some 4¼ miles away from a vast chamber where he now stood with Hans.
Must I go up or down?
Down! Your tunnel must lead into this chamber. Get up and begin walking. Grab yourself if necessary. Slide down the steep places, and at the end, you will find us ready to welcome you.
I'm on my way!
You may be wondering how it is my uncle and I were able to converse. This acoustic effect is easily explained on scientific grounds. It arose from the concave form of the tunnel and the conducting power of the rock. If you've been in the gallery of St. Paul's Cathedral in London, you will know a similar phenomenon has been observed. The slope was rapid, and I slid down. Soon the swiftness of the descent increased horribly, and I was forced to run.
Help! Stop!
I felt myself revolving in the air, striking and rebounding against the craggy projections of a vertical tunnel.
Gräuben. Hans, he lives. He lives! Huh?
It is true. I'm still alive. Uncle, where's Gräuben?
Above the ground, back home in Hamburg.
Oh. Oh, yes.
My dear nephew, you are saved. I keep the blanket close to you. No. Good day, Axel.
Hello, Hans. And now, Uncle, tell me where we are.
Tomorrow, Axel. Now, I bandaged your head with compressors which must not be disturbed. Sleep now, and tomorrow I will tell you all.
But do tell me what time it is and what day.
It is Sunday, the 9th of August, and it is 10 at night. You must ask no more questions until the 10th of the month.
Next morning, on awakening, I looked around me. My bed, made up of our travelling gear, was in a charming grotto made up of splendid stalactites.
Good morning, Axel. I feel sure you're better.
Yeah, Axel is warm. Good day.
It was a half-light. There was no torch or lamp, save for the glow of the campfire.
Better?
The fever has left you.
And no broken limbs?
Certainly.
And my head?
Your head, except for a few bruises, is all right. And it is on your shoulders where it ought to be. And skål nok at komme sig.
Ja, jeg tror han er ved good helbred, yeah.
Well, I'm afraid my brain is affected, or are we again on the surface of the globe? But don't I see the light of day, and don't I hear the wind blowing and the sea breaking on the shore?
Certainly not. Now come and see for yourself, but go gently, my nephew. A relapse might get us into trouble, and we have no time to lose, for the voyage may be a long one.
The voyage?
Her, Axel, kom.
Oh,
yep.
Take Hans's arm.
Take Hans.
Yeah.
Such light, I'm not used to it. What is... sea?
The Liedenbrook Sea. I don't suppose any other discoverer will ever dispute my claim to name it after myself as its first discoverer.
Liedenbrook Heere.
Yes.
Spray. I can feel the spray on my face.
Heere!
Yes, it's quite an ocean, isn't it, Axel, with the irregular shores of earth, capes, promontories, worn away by the ceaseless action of the surf. It is frightfully wild in appearance.
We were, in reality, shut up inside an immeasurable excavation. Its width could not be estimated, since the shore ran widening as far as the eye could reach. Nor could its length, for the dim horizon bounded the new. As for its height, it must have been several leagues.
But the light! It is not the light of the sun.
I believe it to be electric in origin, like the aurora borealis.
Above. See? That cloud must be at least 12,000 feet. A far greater height than that of any terrestrial vapor.
The word cavern does not convey any idea of this immense space. Do you feel strong enough to walk a little way now, my boy?
Certainly, and nothing could be more delightful.
Hans, have you got into?
Yeah, got so.
Take my arm, Axel, and let us head inland.
Uncle, look. Do you see that? At the turn of that high promontory.
A type of tree, do you think? The shape more like a... It's only a forest of giant mushrooms.
You're correct. I know that the Lycoperdon giganteum attains a circumference of 8 or 9 feet, but these must be 30 to 40 feet high.
Look over there, Axel. Lowly shrubs of the earth, but here, of gigantic size. The entire floor of the second period of the world, the transition period. Never had a botanist such a feast as this. Look at the dust under your feet. See the bones scattered on the ground.
So there are. Bones of extinct animals. Oh, here is the lower jaw of a mastodon. And these are the molar teeth of the Dinotherium. This femur must have belonged to the greatest of those beasts, the Megatherium. Uncle, where would you say we are?
Here, on the map. Have a look for yourself.
The Highlands of Scotland are over our heads, and the Grampians are raising their rugged summits above us.
It is rather a heavy weight to bear, but a solid arch spans over our heads.
But how are we to get down below this liquid surface?
Well, if all oceans are in reality only lakes, since they are surrounded by land, then this internal sea will be surrounded by a coast of granite. And on the opposite shore we shall find fresh passages opening. We shall set sail tomorrow.
Set sail, shall we? I should like to see a boat first. And how long do you suppose this sea to be?
30 or 40 leagues. And it would not be a boat at all, but a good, well-made raft.
A raft would be just as hard to make as a boat, and I did see anybody...
I know you don't see, but you might hear if you would listen. Don't you hear the hammer at work? Hans is already busy.
What? He's been felling the trees.
Oh, the trees are already down. Come and you will see for yourself, beyond the promontory. Hey, Hans. Du går I Gott stuka arbete.
Ja, tack.
A raft. Hans is making a raft.
Ja, gott I fast med hvordan det går.
Hans is pleased with how it's coming along.
By the next day, thanks to the industry and skill of our guide, the raft was made. A mast was fashioned from 2 poles spliced together, a yard was made of a third, and a blanket borrowed from our coverings made a tolerable sail.
That's it. Cast off. Vuselters abster, Hans.
Yeah. Look, so.
Hans had fitted up a rudder to steer the vessel and took the tiller.
Sail works well. Wind's caught it.
Basically.
This fine harbour which has given us such kind shelter must have a name. Port Axel.
I have a better one to propose. Gräuben. Let it be called Port Gräuben. It will look very well upon the map.
Port Gräuben it is. So named August the 13th, 1863.
And with that, The cherished remembrance of my Veerland days became associated with our adventurous expedition. The wind was from the northwest. We went with it at high speed.
At this rate, we shall make 30 leagues in 24 hours, and we shall soon sight the opposite shore.
Quickly, we entirely lost sight of land, and Professor Liedenbrock entrusted me to keep a log of our sea trip.
Axel, you are to register every observation. Make entries of interesting phenomena, the direction of the wind, the rate of sailing, the distance accomplished. In a word, every particular of our singular voyage.
And here are my daily notes exactly as I wrote them. Friday, 14th of August. Wind steady, northwest. The raft makes rapid progress in a direct line. Nothing in sight before us. Intensity of light the same?
Yes, kan nog fisken.
Ah, Hans is going to try fishing.
At noon, Hans prepares a hook at the end of the line and baits it with a small piece of meat. For 2 hours, nothing is caught.
Are these waters bare of inhabitants? Can it be that
What do you need?
Something tugged at the fishing line. I saw it.
A sturgeon! A small sturgeon! He may say then, huh?
Ja, that's good.
See here, the head is flat, but rounded in front. And the anterior part of its body is plated with bony, angular scales. It has no teeth, its pectoral fins are large, and it has no tail. See? And this fish belongs to an extinct family of which only fossil traces are found in the Devonian formations.
What? Have we taken alive an inhabitant of the seas of the primitive ages?
It is so, Axel. But this one displays a peculiarity confined to all fishes that inhabit subterranean waters. It is blind. Not only blind, but actually has no eyes at all.
Nothing could be more certain. But supposing it might be a solitary case?
Hans, please bait the hook. Oh, Hans, can do.
Oh, ja. Ja, is kan nog fisken.
Within a couple of hours, we have taken more fish. This unhoped-for catch replenishing our stock of provisions. Saturday, 15th of August. The sea remains unbroken all round. No land in sight. The horizon seems extremely distant.
1, 2, 3, en, door, tre, $6. Here, Hans, juice and tack.
Ja, mijn taak.
You seem anxious, Uncle.
Anxious? No, not at all.
Impatient, then. We are going very far.
What does that signify? I'm not complaining the rate is slow, but the sea is so wide. We've travelled 30 leagues more than 3 times now. We're not descending as we ought to be.
Since we have followed the road that Sarknessum has shown
And that is the question. Have we followed that road? Did Sarknessum meet this sheet of water? Did he cross it?
You're really not the best of travellers, are you, Uncle?
Sunday, 16th of August. Nothing new. Weather unchanged, so is the light. Truly, this sea is of infinite width. It must be as wide as the Mediterranean or the Atlantic. And why not? My uncle has taken soundings several times. He ties the heaviest of our pickaxes to a long rope, which he lets down to 200 fathoms. No bottom yet. He tries again.
How deep is the Liedenbrock Sea? Axel, hand, quick! Help me pull this thing up!
Tenno.
What does that mean?
Teeth.
Yeah, the teeth. Yeah, Tenno.
Teeth marks imprinted into the metal of the pickaxe. They certainly weren't there before. The jaws which they are must be possessed of amazing strength. Do you see there? Regions of the surface are disturbed there, and there, and there. There's some sort of commotion below.
Yeah, ikke godt.
That we must be on the lookout.
Of course, Uncle. I'll check the gun.
Most wise.
Good idé, Axel.
Tuesday, 18th of August. Evening comes. Or rather, the time comes when sleep weighs down the weary eyelids. For there is no night here, and the ceaseless light tires the eyes with its persistency as if sailing under the Arctic sun. Hans is at the helm. During his watch, my uncle and I sleep.
What's the matter? Have we struck land? Or... Hans. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Is it some sort of enormous porpoise?
And over there, a huge sea lizard.
And look! Another! A monstrous crocodile! Can you see the massive jaws? Rows of teeth!
And there! There's a whale! A whale! I caught sight of its great fin! Two blowholes! Creatures of supernatural dimensions! I believe the smallest could crush our raft, crew and all, with one snap of its huge jaws.
Har vi våra floder? Vi nej!
Hans?
Det är en till! Oh dear! What is that? A turtle?
A turtle 40 feet long! And coming behind...
Nej, det är en sjö!
Yes, it is, Hans. A serpent. A giant one.
Oh, Uncle, they're circling!
Flight is out of the question. We'll never make it.
They're coming closer. My rifle is ready.
What can a rifle ball do against the scaly armor that covers these beasts?
Sjön! Den kommer!
What? What did he say?
He said, the serpent is coming! And over there is a crocodile! We're going to be caught in the middle!
I'm going to shoot!
Nej! Se!
Oh my goodness! They didn't even see us.
They're going to kill each other!
The crocodile has the serpent by the head!
Look, there's the porpoise! And the turtle! They're back! And the whale! And did he say two?
Yeah!
Does he mean there are only two animals?
Axel, my telescope, please.
Here, Uncle, here.
Thank you. Hans is right. The first of the monsters has a porpoise's snout, and is its head. A crocodile's teeth, and hence our mistake. I believe it is the ichthyosaurus, the fish lizard. The most terrible of the ancient monsters of the deep.
Not the news I wanted to hear. And the other?
The other is a plesiosaurus, a serpent with a carapace and paddles of a turtle. He is the dreadful enemy of the other.
The fish lizard has torn open the serpent's neck.
No, it didn't really have to do that.
It was let go at last.
Han är du.
Yes, the serpent is dead, Hans. But where did the other one go?
What if it comes back?
No.
Wednesday, 19th of August. Fortunately, the wind blows violently, and this enables us to flee from the scene of the late terrible struggle. Some hours later, we encounter a curious sight.
Is it another sea beast?
A sort of vast inverted cone.
Please don't get too close.
In Holm, an island.
That's not an island.
There's nothing else.
But that column of water?
A geyser on Axel Island.
Axel Island?
Yes.
Axel Island.
The next few days are strangely calm. The calm before the storm. The air crackling with electricity. On the mast, I can already see the light play of a lambent St. Elmo's fire.
Let us reef the sail and cut the mast down to stem our progress. That will be the safest.
Never! Let the wind catch us if it will! What I want is to get the least glimpse of rock or shore, even if our raft should be smashed into shivers!
Uncle!
Here the notes of my log became vague and indistinct. I've only been able to find a few, which I seem to have jotted down unconsciously. Sunday, 23rd of August. Where are we? We are driven forward at a rate beyond all measurement. The lightning flashes with intense brilliancy and never seems to cease for a moment.
The lightning is striking the top of the cavern! What if the roof should crumble down upon us?
We think things cannot get any worse, but within hours, the storm redoubles.
Span out fast! Hold fast!
I'll tie down the supplies! You get the instruments!
Done!
Then tie yourself to the mast!
Yes, to mast then! I'm tied!
For 3 days we cling to our raft. Ceaseless fiery arrows darting amongst the flying thunderclouds. My uncle draws near to me.
We are lost! We are lost! Let us lower the sail!
I will do it, Uncle! And I pass for action! Pass for!
Axel! The fireball!
Mast then!
The mast! It's gone!
I was nearly gone!
We lay there, our blood running cold with unspeakable terror. A fireball, half of it white, half azure blue and the size of a 10-inch shell, moved slowly about the raft, revolving on its own axis with astonishing velocity.
Don't die! Oh, I was close. My hair is sealed! Nitrogen! Watch out! It is near the powder magazine!
Missed! I can't move my foot!
Axel!
Is it riveted to the planks? See, I'm stuck! Ordner! Instrumentele!
The fireball must have magnetized every iron particle on board. The guns, instruments, tools are all being drawn to one another.
The nails of my boots are magnetized to a plate of iron let into the timbers. I've got to get free. I've done it.
It is burst! In flame!
Fire!
The fireball bursts, throwing tongues of fire around the raft, but as quickly as they came, they disappear. And I can just see my uncle at full length on the raft, and Hans still at his helm. But where are we going? Where? Tuesday, 25th of August. The storm continues to roar and rage, and we are borne along at an incalculable speed.
What is it, Hans?
Look! Look! A noise! I hear something! Can it be... I can't swim! Come on, son! Come on! Hurry, please! Thank God! Come so!
Here I end the log after being happily saved from the wreck by the brave Icelander, when the raft was dashed upon the rocks, and I resume my tale as before.
We have got there.
To our journey's end?
To the end of that endless sea. Now we shall go by land, and really begin to descend, descend, descend.
But my dear uncle, have you ever thought about how we are to get back to Hamburg and home to Gräuben?
When we have reached the centre of the globe, either we shall find some new way back, or we shall come back like decent folk the way we came. We have enough provisions to last. Biscuits, salt meat, spirits, and salt fish. We might reckon on 4 months' supply.
The guns will last. And we cannot hunt.
Hunt what? We still have powder.
And the instruments?
We have the manometer, the most useful of all. By means of it, I can calculate the depth and know when we have reached the centre. And we might very likely go beyond and come out to the Antipodes.
But what about the compass?
Here it is, in perfect condition, as well as the thermometers and the chronometer.
Where do you think we could be?
Now, let us consult the compass. Here. Now, let's see.
What's the matter?
I'll take a look.
The north pole of the needle has turned to what is supposed to be the south. It is pointing to the shore instead of the open sea. Look, in whatever position I place it, the needle pertinaciously returns to this unexpected quarter.
Axel, did the wind change and we did not notice?
It must be so. Otherwise, how can it be that we're back on the shore? We thought we'd left so far behind us. We've gone backwards instead of forwards.
How shall I describe the strange series of passions which shook the breast of Professor Liedenbrock? First stupefaction, then incredulity, lastly a downright burst of rage until...
Will fate play tricks upon me? Will the elements plot against me? I will not yield. I will get Hans to repair the raft, and tomorrow we will set sail.
Uncle, no.
And since fate has driven me onto this part of the coast, I will not leave it until I have examined it.
Then let us start upon fresh discoveries.
After leaving Hans to his work, we started off together, trampling over numberless shells of all the forms and sizes which existed in the earliest ages of the world.
Uncle, this carapace must be all of 15 feet in diameter.
The covering of a gigantic glyptodon or armadillo of the Pliocene period, of which the modern tortoise is but a miniature representative, dear boy.
We traversed the shores of the Liedenbrock Sea for a mile, when we observed a sudden change of appearance in the landscape, where a field, nay, more than a field, a vast plain of bleached bones of animal life through the ages appeared spread before us.
All sorts of extinct monsters assembled together for your satisfaction, Uncle Liedenbrock. And here, see, this must be a...
Axel, a human body.
A human body?
Over there.
Oh, why, so it is. Is there some particular soil like that in the cemetery of Saint Michel in Bordeaux, which has preserved it like this for so many years? The skin is like parchment. The limbs still have their shape, sound teeth, abundant hair, and fingernails and toenails of frightful length.
Oh, how I shall enjoy sharing this with my students at the UNA!
Oh, Uncle!
Another remarkable thing. This fossil body was not the only one in this immense catacomb. We came upon bodies at every step amongst this mortal dust. In fact, it was a wonderful spectacle. These generations of men and animals commingled in a common cemetery.
I wonder if all these creatures slid through a great fissure in the crust of the earth down to the shore of the Liedenbrock Sea when they were dead, turning to dust.
Or had they lived and grown and died here, in this subterranean world under a false sky, just like the inhabitants of the upper earth,
We pushed on, impelled by our burning curiosity.
Axel, a forest.
The trees, they have no colour. None of them have colour.
They grow without the life-giving heat and light of the sun. They are of a uniform grey, silver grey, perhaps light
Uncle,
brown.
stop!
My boy, what is it?
There, to the right, amongst the trees. Something moving.
It looks like it can't possibly be mastodon.
So it is.
Oh, come on! Forward! Forward!
I will not. We have no firearms. Come away, Uncle. Uncle, come.
No!
No human being may safely brave the anger of these monstrous beasts.
No human creature. Oh, you are wrong, Axel. Look down there. I fancy I see a living creature similar to ourselves. It is a man.
Where? I don't see. can't be. Is it possible?
Quick, hand it through before he sees us.
Very well. He must be all of 12 feet high. Oh, his head is huge and unshapely. It puts me in mind of a buffalo's with that unkempt mane of hair.
Look, that is his herd. Those mastodons. He is watching them. Emmanuis pecoris Christos Emmanuel Ips. He is a giant, able to control those monsters. A shepherd of the geological period. Oh no, he spotted us. Oh no, I was wrong.
But why must we hide? You think he may not relish intruders?
My worry is he would relish intruders with a keen appetite.
He would eat us.
We cannot be sure.
I do wonder, though, what he would make of us. Creatures of a similar shape.
We are about to find out.
What do you mean?
Run! Oh, those beasts! Stampeding them towards us! Axel! They're so close I can smell them! They smell! Uncle, help! I've fallen! My arm! I think they may have halted their charge. I'm not stopping to find out! Axel, wait for me!
We kept running and instinctively got back to the Liedenbrook Sea.
Evidently, we did not land at our original starting point, but the storm has carried us a little higher. And if we follow the shore, we will find the promontory where Hans constructed the raft.
What's this? What's half buried in the sand?
A dagger. Did you bring this weapon with you?
I? No, certainly, but you, perhaps.
I've never had this object in my possession.
Well, this is strange.
Axel, it is very simple. The Icelanders often wear arms of this kind. This must have belonged to Hans, and he dropped it.
Hans never had an object like this. Did it not belong to some pre-Adamite warrior? To some living man contemporary with the huge shepherd? No, this is not a relic of the Stone Age. It's not even of the Iron Age. This blade is steel and...
Axel, this dagger belongs to the 16th century. It was never yours or mine or the Eiderdown hunters. Nor did it belong to any of those human beings who may or may not inhabit this inner world. This blade has been left on the sand for up to 300 years and has blunted its edge upon the rocks that fringe the subterranean sea.
But it has not come alone. It has not twisted itself out of shape. Someone has been here before us.
A man who has engraved his name somewhere with that dagger. That man wanted once more to mark the way to the center of the earth. Let us look about. Here, Axel, come and see. On this granite slab, bold as day.
Can it be? 2 letters. Runic.
A.S.
Arnus Sarknessum. Not only are the initials of the learned alchemist visible on the rock, but here is the iron point with which the letters were engraved. Uncle, I can no longer doubt the existence of that wonderful traveler.
Arnus Sarknessum, thou marvelous savant, thou hast not forgotten one indication which might serve to open to mortals the road through the terrestrial crust. I, too, will inscribe my name upon this dark granite page beside the tunnel leading to our conquest. And from now on, let this cape that advances into the sea, discovered by yourself, be known by your own illustrious name. Cape Sarknessum.
Uncle, blessings on that storm. It has brought us back to this coast from which fine weather would have carried us away. We should never have seen the name of Sarknessum.
Yes, Axel, it is providential that whilst supposing we were steering south, we should have actually gone back north to Cape Sarknessum. I must say that this is it's astonishing, and I feel I have no way to explain it.
What does it matter, Uncle? Our business is not to explain facts,
but to use them.
Oh, certainly.
We are going now to resume the northern route and to pass under Sweden, Russia, Siberia, who knows where, instead of burrowing under the deserts of Africa.
You are right. Now we go down, down, down. Do you know, it is now only 1,500 leagues to the center of the globe?
Is that all? Why, that's nothing. Let us start. March.
Wait! We must get the raft, our things, and hands.
Oh, yes. And then we march. The soul of the professor had passed into me. The genius of discovery possessed me wholly.
Axel, kan du være venlig tage ræbberne og binde tonnefloden fast?
Axel, he wants you to jump onto those rocks there and secure the raft.
Will do. Tak.
Nice and tight. I was wondering if we shouldn't burn the raft. We're not going to need it anymore. It would prevent the temptation to return to the surface. Keep us on our path.
Certainly not. Nothing can stop us now.
At least don't let us lose a minute.
Yes, but first let's examine this new tunnel to see if we shall require our ladders. Hans, have you checked it out?
Ja, godt så. Vi må hellere tage lampen med.
God idé. Axel, the Romkorf's apparatus here. You take it and lead the way.
An honor, Uncle.
The mouth of the tunnel was not more than 20 yards from us, and our party, with myself at the head, made for it without a moment's delay.
The beginning of the next stage of our journey to the center... What?
Oh, cursed rock.
Nej, vejen er spærret.
The way is blocked. A giant piece of rock is blocking our way. But how was it with Sarknason?
Indeed? Was he stopped by this stone barrier?
It seems this fragment of rock may have been shaken down by some shock or convulsion since he passed this way.
Well, then let us make our way with pickaxes, spades.
It's too hard for the pickaxe. I know. We'll blow it up.
Blow it up?
Ja, good idea, Axel.
And so it would be. The Icelander retrieved an iron bar from the raft, which he used to bore a hole for the charge. This was no easy task. Whilst Hans was at work, I was actively helping my uncle to prepare a slow fuse of wetted gunpowder encased in linen.
I beg you, Uncle, please let me light the fuse.
But take care, my boy. Once you've lit it, then hurry and join us back on the raft, and we will push off to avoid the dangers arising from the explosion, the effects of which are not likely to be confined to the rock itself. Take the torch.
Thanks, Uncle.
Held ulykke.
Godspeed, my boy.
I'm here. Ready?
We are! Put the torch to the fuse, Axel!
With pleasure, Uncle. It's alight!
Run! Run quickly! Put off! Run! Quick! Axel! Jump aboard!
Soon the raft was 20 fathoms out to sea. It was a moment of intense exhilaration.
Down, rock. Down with you.
Hvad er det i vejen?
What's happened? It should have gone off by now. I will go and see what's going on.
Towards the shore!
Nej, de er i kæmpe ud.
The ground has opened up and the sea is being sucked into it and us along with it. Hold on, Axel! Hands! Hold on!
The sea, lashed into a sudden fury, rose up in an enormous billow, on the ridge of which the unhappy raft was uplifted bodily into the air with all its crew and cargo. And in less than a second, we were in a deep, unfathomable darkness. I then understood what had taken place. On the other side of the blown-up rock was an abyss.
The explosion has caused
Help me, Dave!
The golfer's open! Where are we going? I can't see a thing!
This is no doubt the same road that Sarkison has taken, but instead of walking peaceably down it as he has done, we are carrying a whole sea along with it!
I see something! A flicker! Hans is lighting the room for look at us here! Light! Thank goodness! Good fellow, Hans! I'll check what is left of the cargo. The instruments are gone, save for the compass and the chronometer. Ropes and ladders are gone. Only this piece of cord remains of what is left of the mast.
Oh no!
Oh, no!
Now the lantern is going out! Perhaps the water got in! Help!
Black night reigned again, and there was no hope of being able to dissipate the palpable darkness. After a considerable lapse of time, our speed redoubled. I could perceive it by the sharpness of the currents that blew past my face. I believed we were no longer sliding, but falling. My uncle's hand and the vigorous arm of Hans held me fast.
Don't let go, Uncle! Please, don't let go!
It's all right, Andrew! We have you! What's this? Why have we stopped falling? Yeah. Yes, but now we're rising.
I feel it too. As if we're on some sort of water spout.
The water has reached the bottom of the gulf. It is now rising to its level and taking ours with it.
What if this well has no opening at the top? We'll be crushed. It's also becoming very hot. I'm thirsty. I'm a drink. The water beneath is scalding. We're rising to a fiery furnace.
Impossible. No, I wouldn't be surprised if
What?
it...
What? I feel a catastrophe approaching. An earthquake.
Yes, Hans, light. Look above, my boy. Glimmers of light here and there. Not an earthquake, Axel. Something better. We are running up the shaft of a volcano. We are being taken up in an eruption.
How can that be better?
I don't see any other way of reaching the surface of the Earth.
The surface? We started in Stifle, an extinct volcano, and now we're inside one full of activity in what part of the world? This dreadful heat. I wish I could have some water, but it's too hot.
There is no more water, Axel. Only a lava paste, which is bearing us up on the surface to the top of the crater. Sulphurous vapors, which one might expect in an eruption. They are quite natural.
And fire! And down those tunnels, see? The walls are quaking. The rocks are shivering.
It appears we are not in the main shaft of the volcano, but a lateral gallery.
Stop it.
We've stopped. We're not moving.
Yes.
Stop it.
Has the eruption ceased?
I hope not. I should think it will. Hold fast! Hold on, Axel! Hands!
Uncle Lindenbrook!
You may be surprised to hear this, but I have no exact recollection of what took place at that moment. I have a confused impression left of continuous explosions, loud detonations, a general shaking of the rocks all around us, and of a spinning movement with which our raft was at once whirled helplessly in circles.
Professor. Axel. Oh, my eyes. The light. Where are we?
Is it Iceland? This sun, I can't see, it's blinding.
What?
Nee, take Iceland.
Not Iceland.
Nee.
Hans must be mistaken.
I must see. Oh. Open your eyes, Axel. This is no northern volcano. There are no granite peaks capped with snow. Look, down there, below the lava.
Oh, it's a dream.
A perfect bower of rich green.
Se mod øst. Se. Det er en lille havneby. Eller landsby.
Yeah, you can God see the... Axel, over there, a small seaport or village.
Oh, so there is. This spectacle is welcome to eyes long used to underground darkness.
Hey, kom så. Det her er for farligt.
Hans is right. We must get away. The explosions are going on still, and I don't think it would look well to have come out by an eruption and then let our heads get broken by bits of falling rock. Let us get down.
Good idea.
Come, Hans.
Yeah. We must be in Asia, on the coasts of India, in the Malay Islands, or in Oceania. Pass through half the globe and come out nearly at the antipodes of Europe.
But the compass...
We slid down screes of ashes, carefully avoiding the lava streams which glided sluggishly by us like fiery serpents, until happily, after 2 hours of walking, a charming country lay open to us, covered with olive trees, pomegranate trees, and delicious vines.
Grapes. I must have some.
All right.
Oh,
so delicious. The inexpressible pleasure of pressing these cool, sweet fruits to my lips.
Oh, look! There is a son of this happy land.
Boy! He's running off.
Jeg skal nok få fat på ham. Hey! Her er han.
God, Hans. Boy, what is this mountain called? Very well, I infer that we're not in Germany. Amiguito, ¿cómo se llama esta montana?
Try French.
Mon ami, quel est le nom de cette montagne? Now, let us try Italian. Dove nos siamo?
Stromboli.
Stromboli? Stromboli! Oh, we were hardly thinking of that. Stromboli!
We're in the midst of the Mediterranean Sea, on an island of the Aeolian archipelago.
What a journey we have accomplished! How marvelous!
Having entered by one volcano, we have issued out of another more than 2,000 miles from Stifel and away from that barren, faraway Iceland.
But the compass, it pointed due north. How are we to explain the fact?
My opinion is that it's best not to explain it.
We left the grove of olives and arrived at the little port of San Vincenzo, where Hans claimed his 13th week's wages.
1, 2, 3. En, to, tre. Here, Hans, and a manga tag.
Thank you, Professor Liedenbrock.
Hans, we can't thank you enough for all you've done for us.
Huh?
Tusen tack.
Sikkert eventyr.
Hans says it has been a very interesting adventure.
Yeah. Þetta helviti gerir ég ekki aftur.
And then on the evening of the 9th of September, we arrived back in Hamburg.
You're back! Both of you safe!
We are indeed, Graham, and we can't wait to tell you of our adventure.
Axel! Oh, Axel!
You must have worried so, my love.
About what?
About me.
Not really.
Perhaps a little concern.
Not at all.
Greuben.
Axel, I never doubted you would return to me. Never.
I can't tell you how happy I am to hear that.
And now you are a hero, you will not leave me again.
Oh, no. My pretty Violentase, I will not. How can I describe the extraordinary sensation produced by the return of Professor Liedenbrock? My uncle was a great man, and I was now the nephew of a great man, which is not a privilege to be despised. And Hans, whether he knew it or not, was a great man too. I often thought of our faithful eiderdown hunter back home in Iceland, who will never be forgotten by those he protected, and I certainly shall not fail to see him once more before I die. To conclude, I have to add that this journey to the center of the earth created a wonderful sensation in the world, and was printed and translated into all civilized languages. But there was one dead fly amidst all this glory and honor. One fact, one incident of the journey that remained a mystery. And then one day...
Uncle! Uncle!
Axel, what on earth?
Uncle, see the compass? Its poles are reversed.
Reversed?
I've only just noticed they point the wrong way.
Of course. After our arrival at Cape Saknussemm, the north pole of the needle of this confounded compass began to point south instead of north.
Evidently.
Here, then, is the explanation for our mistake. But what phenomenon could have caused the reversal of the poles?
The reason is clear, Uncle. During the electric storm on the Liedenbrock Sea, that ball of fire which magnetized all the iron on board reversed the poles of our compass.
So it was just an electric joke?
Yes.
From that day forth, you must know the Professor was the most glorious of savants, and I was the happiest of men. For my pretty Wielandaise, resigning her place as ward, took her position in the old house on the Königstrasse in the double capacity of niece and wife. What is the need of adding her godfather was the illustrious Otto Liedenbrock, corresponding member of all the scientific, geographical, and mineralogical societies of the civilized world, and venturer to the center of the earth.
In Journey to the Center of the Earth, adapted from the Jules Verne novel by Moya O'Shea, Axel was played by Joel McCormack, Professor Liedenbrock by Stephen Critchlow, Hans, Gudmundur Thorvaldsen, and Gräuben by Nicola Ferguson. Original music was composed by Neil Brand, and the director was Tracy Neal.
And our tribute to actor Stephen Critchlow continues when he plays Robin, friend and neighbour of Nicola. He's hiding a secret. She's addicted to shopping, and as money runs out, things are getting out of hand. Outside In is our drama at the same time tomorrow. Now, it was once thought to be bad luck or unsuitable for a woman to whistle. For BBC Radio 4 Extra, the soprano Catherine Bott, herself an inveterate whistler, considers the origins of some of the myths. She also speaks to former champion and professional whistlers and learns about whistling as a means of communication.
The first time I whistled was with 2 fingers on each hand.
The wolf whistle?
Yeah, but it takes a lot of mouth.
Give us a wolf whistle.
But if you whistle like that, you can't reach high notes.
So, can you describe for me your method? You're using your second or